Now, anti-mandate protesters have entered day 7 of their occupation of Parliament's grounds. They've weathered rain, wind, an ex-tropical cyclone, James Blunt blaring over the speakers, and they're still giving no sign of showing up this morning. Former National Party MP Matt King visited the protesters. He's with us live this morning. Matt, good morning.
Morena, Ryan and Melissa, how are you?
Good, thank you. Matt, tell me what it's going to take for these protesters to move on.
Look, I can't speak for them, but I can tell you that 98% of the people that I've spoken to there over the last 2 days, if the mandates are removed, they will leave.
Right. If the government announces a date by which the mandates will be removed, will they leave, or do they actually want them gone before they will physically move themselves off?
Look, I believe that we could get most, if not all of them, off if they give a rock solid guarantee that they'll remove the mandates on a certain date.
Okay.
I reckon people will leave. There might be a handful left behind, but I think they'll go.
Do you think, given that you've been in there amongst them talking to them, and very few people actually have, do you think that if the police start arresting their way out of this, it will more of them come?
That's exactly what will happen, and I can tell you this: there are some very average Kiwis that watched what happened the other day with the arrest process, and they jumped in their vehicles and jumped in their planes and came here. And I'm telling you, there's some ex-police in that there. There's some ex-Defence Force personnel there that have lost their jobs because of the mandates there and there. There's some big, handy sort of guys, good rugby guys. The people that have never been in trouble with the police, that have turned up there because they didn't like what they saw. So if the police come in and try and start being heavy-handed or arresting people, it's going to be chaotic there. I can guarantee that.
What, you're saying they're going to get violent back? I should hope.
They're not going to get violent.
I should hope not.
I've been preaching non-violence. I've been telling everyone this is not going to be solved by any violence. And I can tell you they're not violent. They're being as passive as. I mean, there are barriers up there that they could step over and challenge the police, and no one's stepping over the barriers. They're standing behind them and singing and dancing. So the police that are there now, that are standing on the perimeter, they are at no risk and never have been.
All right, Matt. The police are saying there are people with baseball bats. Did you see any weapons?
No, look. I've been through there for 2 days. I mean, I would take my grandmother through there. There are grandmothers in there. I mean, that the police could walk through amongst us all with not a problem at all.
How long do you think they are willing to stay? Could this drag on for weeks? Could it drag on for months?
I believe that the passion and the depth of feeling about this particular issue and the basic human rights mean that there will be a tag team of people from around the country taking over and relieving, as there has already. People are going home and others are coming back. I'm from the far north. I've had people that have come down here and been here from day one. My neighbour has been there since day one, and she's 67 years old, staying in a tent on the grounds, and she lost her job because of the mandates, and she is there, and she's a non-violent, lovely lady. And then I can tell you that others have come down, volunteer firemen and various other people that I know from Northern have come down in the last few days. They arrived yesterday, some arrived 2 days ago, some are coming down for the weekend. I'm getting calls from regular garden variety Kiwis that are calling me and saying, what's going on down there? I'm watching it live on the social media. Do we need to be there? And I'm just saying, look.
Well, I take your point that there are people there who are ordinary Kiwis who've lost their jobs because of the mandates, but unfortunately there are also some lunatics who've been quite violent towards the public and the police, both in the way that they are speaking and the way that they are behaving, and that has to be condemned. And I know you have condemned that yourself, Matt, but unfortunately for perhaps those genuine protesters among them, there are those fringe elements there as well.